Dublin at this time. He was grandson, in fact, to the original founder of the brewery, and he came just in time to pump money into this area. He actually commented on the living conditions of his tenants at that time. He took all of his 350 tenants out of their housing here on this estate, spent thousands of pounds renovating that housing, and rehoused his tenants in much more comfortable accommodation. This was unheard of in the middle of the 19th century. This was a time when landlords and tenants were fighting every day. It was a very, very unfair system and a very unpopular system, so landlords were not popular people. The Guinnesses were an exception to that rule. So the Guinnesses started off as they meant to go on by looking after their tenants very, very well indeed. Imagine the Guinness family employed all of the 350 tenants here on a full-time basis, although they only ever came to stay themselves twice a year for 2 weeks each visit. They only used this place for a full month out of every year. And at that time, they had 3,500 acres with Ashford Castle. And this is the estate that we'll be looking at as we head west. So this woodland in front of us, the woodland marks out what was the original estate. And you'll see how far back this goes, back to our left as you look forward, or to the west as we head back along the top of the lake. Just to contrast the Guinness family to another estate next door to us. So remember now that you're looking north out over the castle towards the other lake of Loch Mask. There's another big estate up there, the Loch Mask estate. The man in charge of that was Captain Boycott. He was the complete opposite to the Guinness family. He fought every day with his tenants. In the end, fed up with their treatment, all these tenants came together, and with the fear of being evicted from their houses, they went on all-out striking. They brought that estate to a standstill. This made the papers not just here at home but abroad as well. And that strike was successful in that at the end of it, Captain Boycott left his estate, walked away, and this is actually where the word boycott first came from. His name went into the English dictionary. That's where that word originated, just 4 miles over the road from here. So just to describe what this estate was like in the Guinness years, you had 1,500 acres of woodland along the lake shore here beside us, and this is where the Guinnesses used to come to shoot for woodcock and snipe every winter. There's a famous shoot on one of those shoots. They had George V, the Prince of Wales. This was in the winter of 1905. Running at the back of these trees, you had 1,500 acres of farmland. This is where the tenants lived. Each tenant farmer had his own dwelling house and 50 acres each with it. And then around the castle itself, you had formal gardens where the golf course is there behind us. That was actually grazing land for the wild herd of Irish red deer that the Guinness family always had on their base here. And just to finish off the story, how it all changed then. You had Benjamin Lee Guinness first, then he died in 1868. Then you had his son Arthur Guinness, or Lord Ardilaun, the next landlord here. He died in 1915. Then his nephew, Sir Ernest Guinness, was the last Guinness here at Ashford Castle. He sold the entire estate and the castle to the Irish government in 1939 for £20,000, a mere fraction of its true value. The Guinnesses had spent many multiples of that on the estate down through the years, but this was a goodwill gesture, because in a way these great big estates were symbolic of imperialism. So the Irish didn't look at that too kindly when we became independent in 1922. So it was a good move, a very good move, and they got good PR out of that. The government then, they divided up the estate. They gave all the woodland to the forestry department. They still own that now, and all the shooting trails, 26 miles of shooting trails, are all open to the public as walk, useful for walking in the area. The castle itself, with the remaining 350 acres, was leased out to the first hotelier, Noel Hubbard from Waterville in Kerry. He opened it as a hotel in 39. And then all the farmland where the tenants lived, and this is the most important part of it, that land was divided up among the same tenant farmers and given back to them. So they got to keep their house and their 50 acres. And one of those tenants was my great-grandfather, and that's the same house that I live in today. So this is why I have such an affinity with this entire estate, and this is why I wrote a book about the whole thing. So again, if anybody wants to find a copy of that little book, you're welcome to get the book from Jessica downstairs take it to me here and I'll sign it for you. No problem. So let's give you a little bit of break for now, and I'd like to talk to you, the next time I talk to you now will be about the lake itself. And we'll break it up into little sections like that, and that way it won't be too hard to absorb this information. So thanks for coming out. Feel free, guys, make yourselves at home. Thanks for coming out today.
Yeah. So do you have an email or Facebook or something? If you can give it to me, I put all my, there's sites where you can just post all of your pictures, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I post them on a website. And I pay like $10 a year or something, and I can put as many photos as I want out there. Yes, and you can download them. Yes. Yeah. We did that because our son played water polo, and he also played music at his school, and we posted thousands of pictures out there.
If you go downstairs,
half of his yearbook is our pictures.
Oh, very good.
The kids who were doing the yearbook were too lazy to take their own pictures, and they went and got
If you
ours.
wouldn't mind going downstairs, right, and the first table when you go in the door, on the window there, you'll see business cards.
Okay.
Bring one up there to your then. Thanks very much.
I'll grab one, man. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're happy to share pictures. It's like, if nobody looks at your pictures, what's the reason for taking photos? So anybody who wants them. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll see Patrick and David on that. It's the same email.
All right.
It's the same website.
Okay. Is that still running? Yep. Turn it off. Break it up.
What are you making the quiet man too, is it? Or